What's up YouTube, PokePrimer here, ready to deliver you week 1 of the PU Power Draft League here on the channel. This league with our NU and below mons, because it's not just PU mons, it's NU and below, is looking to be pretty fun, and we have a very interesting squad. Very interesting squad. Some of these teams are actually really scary. So we're going to have to focus a lot on our prep to pull out some wins in this league if we want to do well. This is going to be a challenge. But week 1, we are taking on a guy whose username is a whole bunch of different things, but the word True is in there, so I'm going to refer to him as True. We're taking on True and the Chad Chinchous. And his team is kind of yikes. It's a yikes. He's rocking out with Jellicent, Archeops, Electivire, Pyroar, Meowstic, Alolan Dugtrio, Avalugg, Vespiquen, Wobbuffet, Throw, Tangela, and Wigglytuff. Yuck. Double yuck. Triple yuck. So much yuck, I can't even speak properly with all this yuck going on. How much yuck can one man deal with in one day? His team's pretty solid. His team's just really solid all around. He has mons that outspeed 99% of our team, which is... it's a yikes. It's a hella yikes. Archeops and Electivire beating his Z-Mons are very scary. Yeah, very scary. Archeops is Z-Mon, super strong, very dangerous to deal with. Electivire is a Z-Mon. It's kind of unfortunate that his 2 Z-Mons, one of them helps counter one of the biggest weaknesses of the other one, which is a huge problem. But Electivire having its electric immunity is going to be a threat. Pyroar and Meowstic are both really monstrous mons, and Alolan Dugtrio. All of his mons that are faster are really monstrous and real big pain in the ass to deal with. So I'm really going to have to be careful with how I handle them. But I think I can do this. It's just going to be a tough matchup. But first one we're bringing is Blue Balls, our Life Orb Electrode, with Aftermath, just in case of an instance where he might hit us with something and drop us down. That 25% could be pretty clutch to get on something. We'll switch Thunderbolt, HP, Ground, and Toxic. We are running just enough speed to outspeed his fastest mons at base 110. We only need to run that 60 speed IVs, which is really nice. That's why I love Electrodes so goddamn much. So we're running a Modest Nature, Max Special Attack, 192 into HP, and 4 into Defense. The only reason I had the 4 in Defense is because we had an even number of HP, and I don't like that, so I took the 4 out and put it in Defense. But Volt Switch and Thunderbolt hit pretty much everything in his team pretty solidly. The only things it doesn't really hit are the Tangela, which I can just Volt Switch out on, or Toxic, and the Alolan Dougie. The Alolan Dougie and the Evire, which I can just hit with an HP Ground. I'm going to try to predict those on switch-ins and just smack them with HP Grounds and not have to worry, which is kind of nice. I can just blow those things back. But other than that, nothing on his team really wants to take these hits. Like, this thing hits so stupid hard. It's going to be really hard for him to switch into this outside of the mons that I just previously mentioned. Like, it's hard. What's also good about having it built this way is, I don't know entirely if Wobbuffet is allowed to have Shadow Tag in this league. I don't know if they're allowing it or not, because I don't know if it's technically allowed in the low tiers. I don't know if it's allowed in NU or PU. I don't think it is. If it isn't, then even better. But if it is, then Not only do I have Volt Switch to escape it, but I can actually just click Toxic on it, and it won't be able to safeguard or anything in front of me, so I will be able to Toxic it and whittle that bitch down and not have to worry, which would be nice. So that's a good solid way of beating the Wobbuffet there. So yeah, we have that problem to deal with. Trust me, it's going to be a problem. But yeah, this mon just does a lot of work to his team, and I'm really excited to use it. Next mon we're bringing is exclusively for the Z Archeops, because Archeops with Z moves is threatening, like extremely threatening to our team, and we need something that can take a hit from that thing, including a Z move. And that mon is discount the Silvally Ground. We're bringing the ground type Silvally this week because it just eats a hit from Archeops all day, every day. We're bringing it with max HP, 200 into defense, with an impish nature. I believe that actually allows us to not be 2KO'd by anything from Archeops. Dodges 2KOs from like... it prevents us from being 2KO'd by no item acrobatics. But like we just swallow a Z move from this thing without any real issue at all. And obviously we just put the last into special defense. I didn't really need, I don't think, to invest in speed. I kind of needed both of my offensive stats to not be hindered. So that's why I just made myself a relaxed nature. Actually, instead of impish, I did say impish before. But that's why I made myself impish, or relaxed instead of impish. Because I do need my special attack in this week. Parting Shot, multi-attack, Flamethrower, and Thunderbolt. Actually, first thing I do want to note, even though we are minus speed, we are actually faster than still majority of his slow mons. We outspeed all of his slow mons, so they have to still invest a significant amount of speed to outspeed us. Like Jellicent, I think, has to invest like... Yeah, Jellicent has to invest... .192 speed or go timid to potentially outspeed us, along with like pretty much the rest of his team has to do the same thing. So that's not really beneficial to him. So in the long run, I think that's really beneficial to us, that like we can do that, because we're not going to outspeed anything else anyway. And I didn't want to try to fight for the speed time with Electivire, so I'm not going to waste my time. Plus, this set takes hits from Evire pretty well as well. Parting Shot's really, really useful because we can use it to scout switch-ins and stuff, as well as give us some momentum with the -1 in both offensive stats on whatever comes in. So we can, you know, capitalize on that a lot with our team. Multi-attack, being, you know, nice base 90 ground type move for this week, does a lot of work. It can tear through Electivire, tear through Alolan Dougie, which we can eat pretty much any hit from. It'll break through Pyroar, it'll break through... yeah, that's it, actually. Breaks through all those. We have Flamethrower. Flamethrower is there for the Avalugg. Avalugg could easily switch into this thing. If he sees a Silvally Ground, he might think that it is a... he might think that Silvally Ground is in fact a physical attacker, so I can go for any move, basically, on the Avalugg switch-in, and then Flamethrower should be able to pick up the KO, because Avalugg's got such piss-poor SPDEF. I'm learning that now, using it in the WCBL. It is just such piss-poor special defense. It cannot take a special hit to save its damn life. So I'm gonna be very, very careful when it comes to that, and hopefully, obviously I'm gonna run the calc and make sure that I can kill at the range it's at, even if it's like fully SPDEF or whatever. And as long as I can, I should be able to just pop it and make it go away. So that's cool. And then we have the Thunderbolt. Or the Flamethrower actually also allows us to hit the Tangela, which can be another switch into us. Tangela while it can still take special hits, it's not as bulky on the special side at all, even with the Eviolite, so I can do some significant damage to that as well. Thunderbolt we have here for that Jellicent, so we can hit that thing for super effective damage. If it's like been chipped down a bit and it's down in the range, we can still click Thunderbolt on it and KO it, which would be nice for that. The next model we're bringing this week is Maple Story, our Leafeon, holding the leftovers. Chlorophyll ability does not matter because there is nothing on his team that like auto sets Sun, so like it's not like we're gonna be pretty much guaranteed to have Sun unless he like brings Heat Rock, Pyroar, or something like that. But I'm highly doubting it. Leaf Blade, Knockoff, Baton Pass, and Toxic. 248 HP, 200 into attack, and then 60 into our speed. That 60 in speed actually is kind of significant because he does have some mons like that are all base 60 and below, and base 60 taps out at base 2 at 240 speed. So we will outspeed any of his base 60 and below mons if they are not scarfed. So we basically outspeed over half his team. Leaf Blade and Knockoff are pretty much just solid to hit most of his team. Knockoff is a solid move to click because we can scout if Evire or Archeops are Z users, or if Archeops is an item at all. We'll actually scout that at the very beginning of the game. We'll have to make note of that. We can hit Knockoff on a lot of different things, get rid of their items, which can be really, really useful. Leaf Blade will tear through things like Jellicent very, very effectively. And just having that nice solid stab move to click is always nice to have. And Knockoff's just so good in a format like this where you can have a lot of Eviolite mons. I mean, he doesn't have a lot of Eviolite mons. He only has one mon that can run Eviolite. But getting rid of the Eviolite on Tangela is massive and can make this match even easier for us to win. We also have the Baton Pass because Dry Baton Pass is not bad by any means at all. If we have something brought in on us that we just don't feel like dealing with and we know we can outspeed, we can just Baton Pass out. It's basically just like using U-turn or Volt Switch, just not hitting them first, but you're getting out of there, which is nice. So Dry Baton Pass on the Leafeon, which would be really, really nice to have for some form of momentum as well. Just keeping the momentum between Volt Switch, Parting Shot, and Baton Pass here. This is going to keep momentum throughout the whole team, which is really nice. I actually think we have all 4 forms of momentum grabbing moves on this team, which is cool. Next up, we have Kavanica, our Ariados, Black Sludge with Sniper, Toxic Spikes, Poison Jab, Infestation, and Toxic. Basically all physically defensive, impish, with just enough speed to outpace, I believe it's Wobbuffet? No. What am I outpacing with this? What am I faster than? It's not Jellicent. I know it's not Jellicent. It's something that sits at 45. Is it Throw? Yeah, it's Throw. I outspeed Throw. Okay, so the point of this set is actually to get up Toxic Spikes, but also to beat his Rapid Spinner. Because if he brings in Avalugg to spin, because I think he's going to have to bring Avalugg. He's going to have to bring some form of hazard removal, and Avalugg's his probably best bet. He's going to have to bring Avalugg, because I do have webs, I do have Toxic Spikes. I do think he's going to bring Avalugg. This thing comes in on Avalugg pretty safely, especially on a Rapid Spin. With our defense investment, we eat very nicely, and we can Toxic and Infestation him, and then just whittle him down. And then make sure to have our Toxic Spikes up at the end of the day, which is even better. And then we can just have his whole team get whittled by their Toxic Spikes, which is even nicer, which is cool. And if we even get a crit with our Poison Jabs, which should be cooler, we'll do more damage because of Sniper. So, yay. I think this could be a really cool set, and it can actually work for a lot of different things. If we end up, if Wobbuffet's Shadow Tag, and we end up trapped by it, we can actually just trap it instead. So we can just Infestation and whittle it down. Actually, I think there's only one mon on our team that doesn't have a way of just switching out from Wobbuffet, which is actually cool. I love that. I love that. That's how we have set up. This thing can also just trap things like Tangela, trap things like the Wigglytuff, and and which whittle through them really, really nicely. Doesn't trap a lot of his higher up mons, though. Maybe we can trap Jellicent. If we can trap Jellicent, that'd be pretty lit. I would love to trap Jellicent with Ariados. That'd be hilarious. We just trap a Jellicent with Ariados. But that's it for our Ariados. Pretty cool set. Next we have Let It Rip, our Hitmontop, fully physically defensive, impish nature with Intimidate. We almost ran at Assault Vest, but I couldn't think of a fourth move I wanted to run on it, and I needed Toxic. Again, because of the Jellicent, I need Toxic. And the Wobbuffet as well. I need Toxic because I just need something to whittle down these really ridiculous threats that I just don't have anything for, and Toxic is just there. We have Rapid Spin because I don't want rocks on my side of the field at all. I don't like having rocks on my side of the field. We also have the Bullet Punch. Bullet Punch is actually a very, very interesting tech move to have on this because we can actually use this if the Archeops has taken any form of damage, or if it's gone for like a head smash or something like that. If it's taken any form of damage at all, which I'm sure it will have because we will make sure that it has. We can Bullet Punch it and knock it down into Defeatist so that we can actually not have to worry about it anymore, really, because we can just beat it in Defeatist. Like, once it's in Defeatist, like, it's not a threat. Like, it's down to, I think, base 70 attack, and, like, okay, like, it's still gonna hit kind of hard, but not, like, hard enough for me to care, and I can easily beat that in the long run of the match. So, that's that. We have Close Combat because we can just hit something really, really hard, something like Avalugg, Alolan Dougie, stuff like that. Nothing really wants to take the Close Combat besides like Jellicent or Vespiquen or Wobbuffet, but we're just going to Toxic the Wobbuffet, it's not a big deal. And then we just have, obviously we have the Toxic, yeah, so. Lastly, I wanted to bring one of our Zmons, and I just didn't feel like Dragonair really fit this week. I'd have to Dragon Dance with it. I'd have to get at least 2 Dragon Dances up to even be able to threaten things because of Dragonair's speed. I had to get like 2 Dragon Dances up because I'm sure he's going to bring at least 1 Scarfer that can outspeed my team. So I would have to get like 2 Dragon Dances up to be able to actually be a threat in the matchup. And I just didn't feel like Dragonair had a good matchup this week, especially with Wigglytuff right there. I can't just click Outrage and just tear through his team. I have to be very careful with how I would play the matchup. I'd have to probably bring like Steelium, the Iron Tail. It would definitely be very niche prep, and I'd have to really push hard with the Dragonair. This mod I don't have to push as hard with. We have Kakashi, our Frogadier. Enough speed to outspeed Electivire, which is cool. We have Scald, Dark Pulse, Ice Beam, and U-Turn. So yeah, we do have all 4 forms of momentum: U-Turn, Volt Switch, Parting Shot, and Baton Pass, which is really cool to have on a team. Scald, obviously everything's going to be snapped because we're Protean. Scald is going to be nice to have because I want to burn things. I'm going to have to be careful, obviously, with the Jellicent because I don't want to burn the Jellicent. Or I don't want to give the Jellicent Water Absorb. That could be a pain. But other than that, I want to hit Scalds on everything else because I want to try to get burns. We have Dark Pulse for that Jellicent. Especially with the Darkinium Z. We're going to have to try to scout a little bit with that Dark Pulse. Dark Pulse is going to be mainly the thing we click in the matchup because he doesn't have a Dark Pulse switch in besides Throw and Wigglytuff. And if he doesn't bring either of those, which I pretty much don't believe that he's going to. I have like a lot of doubts that he's going to bring either of those. I think we can definitely be safe in assuming that those don't come. We can definitely just click Dark Pulse safely against his team and do a lot of damage. If he's Colbur on his Jellicent, we will pop the Colbur if it tries to switch in, which is nice. And then we can just click Darkium on him, and he doesn't have a switch in for Darkinium Z. So something dies. Something dies. Like if he doesn't have a switch in for Darkinium Z, something's dying. Then we have the Ice Beam. Ice Beam is there for like things like Vespiquen, Tangela. Especially if we've gotten rid of the EVLA, Ice Beam will help us destroy the Tangela pretty easily. Then we just have U-Turn. U-Turn will help us scout what he's trying to switch into us. Again, like there's going to be a lot of scouting in this match because I do need to make sure that every little aspect is understood, what kind of things he's regularly switching into my Mons, what he's trying to do. I'm just trying to grab as much momentum as possible. I'm going to be clicking our momentum moves as often as possible, just trying to keep some form of pressure on him. So that's going to be our team. We're going to hop into the battle here in a moment, and hope you guys enjoy. Let's go! Alright guys, we are here with our battle against True and the Chad Chinchous. Obviously you see our team up here. This is our Silvally ground, since it doesn't show in the team preview. But we have our opponent bringing the Jellicent, Archeops, and Electivire, which I definitely expected. The Tangela as well. Wasn't exactly sure about the Meowstic, but I'm not too surprised to see it. And then he does have the Throw. So, without further ado, let's get into this. This is a bit of a long one. So, he leads with his Meowstic as he's just going to set up Light Screen, as I'm just going to hit it with a Toxic. It's definitely dual screens immediately right off the bat, so he's just going to set up his screens and shit. He's going to Thunder Wave my Frogadier. That's going to semi-come into play later, but we'll get there. So he does set up the Reflect as well there, as I'm going to be able to U-turn out. He goes for a Psychic on my Silvally, as I'm just going to Parting Shot out, kind of trying to stall out its Toxics. So I'm going to go into Frogadier here and then just U-turn out. It does 2% to this throw. It does literally no damage. So I'm actually going to try to I'm going to try to stall this thing because that's what I have to do with Ariados. So I'm going to knock it off. Or he's going to knock me off as I'm going to go for the Infestation and get the Toxic on him. But he's actually going to reveal the Circle Throw. So that breaks the Infestation, and that's a problem. Even though I get the Intimidate here with him on top, that's kind of annoying. And oh, this throw is going to be the biggest annoyance of this match. The biggest, by far. So I'm going to try the Infestation tech again. He's just going to Circle Throw me out again. I'm just trying to get Chippewa on this thing. So now the Light Screen is gone, so I'm just going to Volt Switch on it. Now, that's some big damage, 32%, that's huge. So I'm going to go back out to him on top, get another Intimidate off, as he's going to reveal Rest. So I'm going to go on Ariados again, try to at least get Infestation on him, and he's going to have the Sleep Talk as well, so he's going to get the Circle Throw on me, and like, fuck, what am I supposed to do? So I'm out into Maple Story here. I go for the knockoff just to get rid of his leftovers, but he's going to get the Circle Throw on the Sleep Talk again. I'm going to go for the Volt Switch. He's going to switch out into his Tangela, and I'm going to get myself out of here and go out into my Ariados. I'm going to take this time. He reveals Hidden Power. At this point, I realize that it's obviously not HP Fire, because HP Fire would have just killed me there. But it's actually more than likely HP Ice. Probably is his only way of touching my Leafeon, and my Dragonair, which is perfectly fine, I get that. But I'm going to use this time to set up a layer of Toxic Spikes, because he has nothing on his team besides the Archeops, if he really wants to go for that could remove. So, really, really cool for me. He's going to go for another Hidden Powers. I'm just going to Toxic this thing outright. I want this thing to have an actual Toxic on it, not just the regular poison that's going to get from the Toxic Spikes. So, that's cool. Now I'm going to go out into Maple Story here. I'm going to knock off its Eviolite ASAP because I want that gone as well, because I want to be able to do as much damage to it as possible. And I'm just going to Leaf Blade here for damage. He's going to, 100% reveal the HP Ice there, which is fine. I'm totally okay with that. He's going to switch out here, get his Regenerators. I'm going to actually Baton Pass on that switch and go into my Silvally. I'm going to multi-attack, just trying to scout his set here. He's looking like he's more of a physically defensive build. He's definitely got defenses in both sides, but he's definitely more phys def. So I'm just going to multi-attack again, kind of get more chip, and kind of get him to waste his rests and such. But now my idea with this is just to get him as weak as possible, so that even if he's getting circle throws or knockoffs, he's not doing much damage. That's kind of the plan there. So I'm going to Parting Shot, get Intimidates and stuff, and he's not going to be doing much damage at all now. So I'm going to Parting Shot on this Tangela as it comes in, and I'm going to get out into Leafeon, but then I'm going to Baton Pass thinking he might switch, but he actually goes for the Synthesis, so smart play on his part. I'm going to just go for the Flamethrower. I know I can essentially 2-hit KO this thing at this point, which is really, really cool with Silvally, but he's able to get the Giga Drain off there. Obviously, he's going to switch, so I'm going to go for the Parting Shot on this turn. This is just a lot of parting shotting and switching around his team, which is super annoying. I'm going to go for the close combat. Again, just kind of showing that he's got a lot more physical bulk than anything. He actually misses the circle throw there, which is really, really important, because with my defenses lowering, I really didn't want to take that. And I get the 31% roll on that one, so I know I'm not going to be able to kill him. He's able to knock off my leftovers there, which is kind of annoying. I'll just go for another one. I want to chip him down as low as I can, really force him to rest. I don't really need close combat a lot in this matchup, so I'm willing to waste them on this. I'm just going to go onto his Meowstic here as I go out into Silvally, but I'm just going to go for the multi-attack. He sets up the light screen, which is totally fine with me, but that does actually help him. I can't just go for a Flamethrower on this, so I Parting Shot on this thing as he goes for the HP Ice on my Frogadier, which is fine. So he does have that up. I don't really want to stick around, so I'm going to U-turn out as he brings in the Jellicent. So I'm going to go to Leafeon here. Seems like my best play to go to Leafeon. He's going to bounce back out to Tangela as I go for the Leaf Blade, which is totally fine. Totally fine. I expected that. Now I just got to wear down the light screen, because at this point, the light screen is the biggest problem that I have to deal with for his team. So I'm just going to Leaf Blade. A crit there would have been really cute, but it didn't happen. Unfortunate, but whatever. Crit would have been nice. I actually think the crit roll there would have actually had a chance to kill him. So I'm going to go Hitmontop here again. He has the throw. I'm just going to use Bullet Punch here to waste the turns of the light screen. I'm totally okay with doing that. Like, I'm not opposed to doing that. Like, yeah, I'm not really doing any damage to him, but he's also not doing much to me. And I'm not lowering my defenses, even though, especially since he's not intimidated. So he's going to go for the knockoff as he wakes up. And then he's going to circle throw me out, and this is fine. So I get out into my Electrode. I'm just going to Volt Switch on him. He's just going to probably... I figure he's probably just going to rest this turn. I need to keep my Electrode healthy so that I can handle things like the Archeops later on. So I'm just going to go to Leafeon here. I'm going to Leaf Blade, kind of scout. And yeah, this is still looking like more of a physically defensive build. And he's actually going to Sleep Talk and get the knockoff there. I'm just going to go for a Leaf Blade again. Gets him down really low into to 30%. So this is actually really important. So he's going to Sleep Talk, get knockoff there, and that's unfortunate. So I'm going to go to Frogadier. I know Frogadier can kill. I just go for a Scald, and it hits the Tangela on the switch in. Now I reveal that I am faster. While paralyzed with my spread, I actually am 3 points faster than a mid-speed Tangela, so I'm able to kill him with an Ice Beam here. Now he goes out into this thing, and I'm scared, obviously. So I'm going to go on to Hitmontop, get an Intimidate on it, and kind of sort of sack my Hitmontop a little bit. I'm going to go for a Bullet Punch here. Hits the Jellicent for that damage. I'm going to Bullet Punch him again. He's going to take some more poison damage as he's going to Scald me. So I go back out on Frogadier, and this is where I go for my Dark EMZ, get my Black Hole Eclipse, and knock out the Jellicent. Huge knockout there. Now he goes out to this thing, and he goes for the Earthquake, and I lived. I actually lived in an Earthquake from an Archeops. I'm still blown away by that. I'm a Frogadier. Why did I live that? On 9%, but why did I live that? Mind you, I also didn't get fully paired once this entire match with Frogadier. So I actually went for a Scald here, and Scald just straight up kills this thing. It's amazing. So now he's going to go out into his Electivire, and it reveals that he's Life Orb, so he's not Scarfed. If he was Scarfed Evire, I basically lost this, almost. I mean, I could have still killed it with multi-attack on Silvally. If it was Scarf Earthquake, I would have actually been able to... beat it with Silvally, but unfortunately, but it turns out to be Life Orb. So I'm actually going to go out into Silvally first, have him take more Life Orb damage, because I did calc at this point. I calced what the Hidden Power Ground would do on my Electrode, and it does like a minimum of like 53%, like 53 to something percent. I wanted to be absolutely certain that HP Ground killed. So I'm going to go Silvally, take that Earthquake, I'm going to Parting Shot out into Electrode, which is a lot, puts him down to 56%, but I don't trust it. I don't want to go for rolls because I get a min roll, and then I lose the game. So I'm going to actually go out into Silvally, sack it to the Earthquake. Between Life Orb and Poison, he's definitely well in range of being able to be knocked out. I kill him with this HP Ground, and now that his electric immunity is gone, I can freely Thunderbolt this throw and finally knock it out. And Electrode picks up the last 2 kills of this game. Oh my god, what a fucking matchup, dude. What a matchup. Oh man. If the rest of the matches in this league are this intense, I am really looking forward to this. This is going to be a lot of fun. But thank you guys for watching. If you guys enjoyed, make sure to leave a like down below and subscribe if you haven't already. And until next time, though, I am PokePrimer, signing off.